Hi, I'm trying this screencasting software called ScreenFlow for the first time. We'll see how it goes. I'm using it to go through my thesis because I'm writing my introduction right now and I have to crystallize it in my own mind. So I thought by making this video that might help a little bit. I've made a mind map here and I'm going to go through this. My thesis right now is called Bursty Little Communities, which is the short name. The long version would be Bursty Little Communities, the Influence of Communities of Practice on Weblog Discourse in Individual and Communal Weblog Spaces, which is the really long version. I've got 5 articles right now, and this is on the idea that weblogs are not just a tool, they're a platform and a place and practice, not at all just the tool itself. So I start out with 2 different articles where I look at community and communities of practice. It started out by looking for networks, and a little bit of this work was with Lilia Efimova, where we looked for boundaries. But then I went in a bit of a different direction, and although now that I've heard more of her recent work, she kind of went in that direction as well. But looking more at communities of practice and the influence. Obviously, my thesis is in linguistics, so it'll be the linguistic influence of these communities of practice. But the first 2 articles are more looking just at the communities, not so much at the language, and how these communities are formed and maintained, and of course that the currency is in links, but also in reference. The next article I've got in line is I've called the Kathy article because it's looking at the death threats that were issued towards Kathy Sierra. And this had a very strong gender and power relationship, which was quite interesting. And there was a definite, when you first looked at it, you could easily say that there was a gender difference. But when you looked at gender in relation to power and in-group or out-group status, then you got a very different picture, which was quite interesting, that there were definite in-group and out-group behaviors of language that were much stronger than gender variables. So I went in there looking for there being a difference in gender, especially since this was such a loaded question from the beginning, gender-wise. But that turned out not to be the case. And then I've got 2 that are very much discourse analysis, one looking at the individual and how he or she relates to his own perception of his audience and perception of his own writing, and then the community, basically newspapers actually, both newspapers and blogs, and this incestuous relationship that they have. They kind of feed off each other, and I'm looking at some more high-profile blogs, A-listers, I guess you could say. And I'm doing this through the merging of 3 different frameworks, methodological, say that with a head cold, frameworks: social network analysis, sociolinguistic analysis, and discourse analysis, which I'm trying to get at, performing the community. Are there traces of community that can be identified? How do we perceive blogging relationships? And then how do we perform these relationships? So I'm hoping that, oops, my mouse went crazy. I'm hoping that I'm able to accomplish this. I don't know where it keeps going. Oh well. In my thesis and in this introduction that I have to turn in a draft tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. Hope you enjoyed. Love comments if you have any. I don't know if there was enough there to comment on, but we'll see.